Hello, my friends. Alrighty, here we go. Now, what I'm doing is I'm using the Viejo, I think it was 7460.60 black primer, and using my Neo Echo airbrush. It's almost new, not quite now. I've had it for a couple months. This is like the third time using it on something. And the primer is thin. I'm at 10%, so I want it out a little bit thicker. It was right about here I noticed like my airbrush wasn't quite working right. Now I couldn't for the life of me figure out what was up. I mean, I had cleaned it and did everything I thought I was supposed to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try again, but no, it doesn't quite work. And you'll see in a second here that the tip was actually starting to load up here. Now, if you look really close, when I get this situated in the spring action tweezers, you yourself can actually see that where the hole I was just talking about in. Now, I'm going to prime this all up real good, and the reason being is because I want to be able to see all the flaws and the imperfections. See? Now there's a hole right there. You can see where that axe goes through. By using a black primer, it'll show imperfections a heck of a lot better than using white, gray, or any other color also. Now, after letting it dry a little bit, this is where I started noticing it was a little bit of a problem. It was starting to get a little bit of splatter, and something wasn't right. See, look at that. Look at all that extra fluid just in that tip. Something's not quite right.
A few moments later.
With the airbrush thoroughly taken apart and cleaned, boy, is it coming out just perfectly. Problem I figured out is that this is actually the very first time I'm using an acrylic paint. Now, I do have the thinner port, which is what I used, but I've been cleaning with rubbing alcohol and acetone, which I come to find out does not work so well with cleaning an airbrush when you use acrylic. So I'm just going to use nothing but regular thinner from now on for it. Alrighty, this is after I've already laid on putty. Took me right about 2 hours, but I got it all filled and getting ready now to sand it all smooth so I can go ahead and re-primer it. And once again, I'll be able to see if there's any kind of flaws in my sanding, or if I need to fill it some more. And if you notice, look at that. Where the engine goes together, boy, there's some kind of ugly separation. There really honestly is. So I'm going to have to fill all those little cracks and crevices. Now, after the first sanding, the holes have filled up real nice in the oil pan, but you can see there are some of those cracks I was talking about, or splits I should say, where the two pieces come together. Now that there's a small popsicle stick that I've taken and cut both edges, and I've actually sanded down the front a little bit, so it makes it easier, a lot easier, to apply putty in much smaller places. And that's what I'm going to get ready to do right here. When working with small parts, no matter how small or even your tool is, you're always going to end up with a little extra putty where it doesn't belong. And working with car, spot fillers like this, which basically this is what this is, your finger is going to become your absolute best tool. You don't have to wet it or put any kind of like mineral spirits or nothing like that. That's kind of silly. But if you just take and very gently just hit it with your finger, it'll come out nice.